What is the worst second-hand embarrassment you've ever felt? 1. I was selling some kettlebells on Facebook Marketplace and a woman, early 40s maybe, bought them. She came to pick them up and as I handed them over to her she obviously wasn't expecting them to be as heavy as they were. And as she suddenly strained to counter the weight, she ripped the most extreme of farts you've ever heard. It was gargantuan. I was shocked, but also proud. I'm usually pretty good at making light of any situation, but I found myself speechless for the first time in my life. If I could, I would have returned serve, but even on my best day I don't believe I could create such a symphony. We both kind of stared into each other's eyes and she said, well, and turned around and walked off. I think about her often. 2. Was on the subway going home from work when I lived in NYC. I was sitting down in a 3-row and next to me were 2 seats. A woman gets on the train and sits next to the window near me. Then a guy sits next to her. The guy tried to get her number but she said no. Before he knew it the doors were about to close at his stop, so he tried to run off but the doors closed. He sits back down at the seat he was at, and everyone is staring at him. He tries to get her number again and she respectfully declines. He goes to get off the train at the next stop and drops his phone and a bunch of his stuff. His jacket was off and all his stuff fell out of his pockets. He then misses the chance to get off the train again. Before we got to the next stop he was trying to retrieve a few things that rolled since the train moved. He got his stuff and then got off the train. It was so freaking hard to watch this unfold. 3. Not me directly, but I had a colleague tell me he'd been moderating a work-related town hall meeting on Teams, and the meeting was being recorded for publishing on the website. Some poor sod didn't realize his camera was on and took his laptop into the bathroom with him to continue listening while he took a dump. Since most people had their cameras off, his video popped up beside the presenters on Teams. Needless to say, the recording was quietly lost. 4. I was at a dinner party when my friend's mother-in-law asked another one of our friends when her baby was due. She wasn't pregnant. Anyway, my mother-in-law should have simply apologized, but instead doubled down with something to the effect of, it sure looks like you're pregnant. 5. Bless my ex-girlfriend. She was a waitress and we were out to dinner with my parents. My mother pulls the trying to use an expired coupon move on the waiter. She simply refused to accept that time was a thing and that the written date had passed. While I zoned out and waited for my mom to either win or be escorted out by management, my ex was apparently slowly losing her mind. She suddenly snatches the dollar bill-size coupon from my mother's hand and eats it. Literally tore it and shoved the pieces in her mouth. She says that since there's no more coupon there's no deal. It was nice, having the crazy chick be crazy on the staff's behalf for a change. 6. That lady who took out like half the Tour de France peloton with her stupid sign. I only saw it on TV, but that secondhand embarrassment reverberated across the world for me. If that was me I would be looking into planetary relocation. 7. A new guy started at work and a couple of us were standing around messing about. A lady that also works there who is fairly rough around the edges walks by and the new guy looks at the other guy we were chatting with and states, damn, I feel bad for her husband. It was her husband we were talking to. 8. My friend and I were both texting someone we were upset with separately but at the same time. She took a screenshot of their conversation to send me and sent it to them instead.